Hey Crestwood, happy Wednesday to you. Hope you all are doing well, having a great day today. Certainly a lot of things to be thankful for in our lives as we see God's Spirit move among us. I'm certainly thankful to be your pastor and to be with you this morning, to bring you this devotional for Wednesday, July 12th. So thinking about our country, we just celebrated July 4th. I had a very interesting time celebrating that out in Wyoming in a little town of Centennial. Population about 300 people, but it's invaded on the 4th of July by hundreds more who set off fireworks down Main Street, and it's kind of a wild, wild west fireworks show. It was pretty crazy. But I was thinking about the role of the love of our country with our faith. And I realize this is can be a sensitive topic or a fine line to walk, but let me tell you how I sort of put all these pieces together. So it kind of comes with the terms and how we define our relationship with our country as Christians. So there's patriotism, and patriotism is simply love of your country. So you are a patriot of America. You love your country, and I certainly love our country and don't take for granted all the freedoms and privileges we have of living in this incredible, incredible country. The challenge is that can sometimes flow over into nationalism. So when our faith gets intertwined with patriotism, it becomes nationalism. And nationalism is the belief that our country should be defined by Christianity, and we should work hard to keep it that way. And so a lot of times, love of country and love of God become intertwined in unhealthy ways to where we believe that that our country should only be defined by Christianity and not by other faiths that may be presented there. And then that gets sort of tied in with what's called exceptionalism. And American exceptionalism is a belief that we, as America, are somehow more privileged by God, that we are somehow more blessed by God than other countries. And that, as you can imagine, is where we can begin to dip into some what I would consider to be some destructive behavior, even anti-gospel behavior towards people who are different than us. And so I've been thinking about patriotism and how I love my country with the idea of Christian nationalism, that we should only be defined by Christianity, and exceptionalism, that we are somehow blessed by God or better than others. And certainly the last few weeks have given me a different perspective on that. My time in Costa Rica on the mission trip made me realize what a beautiful country that is and how it represents God's blessing and God's creativity in a lot of ways. And then this past week with my trip to Wyoming, I hope you're not tired of hearing about that, but with the hike that I did to the top of Medicine Bow Peak and be able to look out over God's creation and realize God didn't create this area I was looking at, this beautiful vista, to be America. God just created it, and then we made it America by becoming a country. But God is so much bigger than we can imagine. God is so much greater than we can imagine. So to try to claim God for any one group of people, any ethnicity, any nation or so forth, I think is limiting our understanding of who God is. And so I want to share with you just a moment that I experienced on the top of Medicine Bow Peak to let you see what I saw, and then to realize the beauty and the majesty and the grandeur of who God is. So let me share this video with you. All right, so this is the summit, Medicine Bow Peak, right around 12,000 feet.
Next time, tell me no.
Mark says next time, let's just go out to dinner. It's Mark and Chris. Just got a lake. We started way down here. That last lake, there's a parking lot. Kind of came up that, on the back of this ridge, and then the last little climb up here. Got snowed on. Got rained on, but we made it. Good Surlook Mountain, we go down back around that. You can see a little lake down there. That's where our parts over there. So, yeah, that's the summit. So as you can tell, it's a little windy up there. But in looking out over that, I realized God is the God of all creation. God is the God of all people. God is the God of all countries. No one owns God, and it's a bit of arrogance on our part to think that God somehow blesses us more than God blesses the people in Costa Rica or Ukraine or North Korea or anywhere else. So This morning, I want to encourage you just to give thanks to God for all that God has done for you as an individual, for us as a country, but also for our whole world, to realize God is the God of everyone and every place and everything. And standing on top of Medicine Bow Peak, I just felt that smallness and realized no one can claim God. God is so much bigger than any of us can imagine. And simply to give thanks to God for being who we are, for living where we are and the blessing of that, but also recognizing that we don't have a claim on God more than anyone else. And to let that humility sort of permeate us as we then think about how we can live and serve others, not just here, but around the world. God loves you. I love you. God bless you, Crestwood.